Hey YouTube, a couple days late, but I just got the upgrade to FSD Beta 10.69.2.3. It's just a seemingly point release with some fixes and some updates to the neural nets from the previous 10.69.2.2. So this is going to be my first drive, and we're going to give it a go. Driving around the neighborhood to get set up for the test loop. I have noticed the visualizations look really rock solid, but that's about the only thing I've noticed. I haven't actually engaged full self-driving. So we've got the test loop stops all set up in the nav, and we're gonna give it a go. So kind of I had pulled over to the side of the road, so it very adeptly kind of goes around that vehicle. We're going a little fast here, but nothing major. Perfect positioning here in the lane to get out of the way of oncoming traffic to allow for that bus. As I said, the visualizations are looking really sharp. It's figuring out where curbs are, where drivable space is, and it's not juddering nearly as much as it was in previous builds. It's looking really good. I don't think any changes to speed humps and that sort of thing, so I'm gonna have to, I'll try to bring down the speed with the wheel, but most likely I'm gonna have to step on the brake for some of the speed humps coming up. Okay, it's looking good. All right, I'm not seeing it represented here. So we're gonna try to...
500 feet, enter the roundabout and take the second exit.
Go, yeah, there we go. And then we can put it back up to, we'll say 20. I think 22 is a more comfortable speed through here. I think with it being a neighborhood, it really should be about 20, not 25. And we'll try to slow down for this one as well. Oh, it seems like it's responding to my
now enter the roundabout
speed decreases much faster than the previous version. That's definitely changed. I would bump it down, and it oftentimes would kind of take almost a whole block for it to start to reduce its speed. Okay, we're getting a good path through the roundabout, and are we going to do it? Okay, pretty hesitant, but it did it.
500 feet, enter the roundabout and take the second exit.
It looked like it was trying to bail out to the right a couple times. In the last version, 10.69.2.2, on this second pseudo roundabout, it did bail out to the right, so I had to overtake it. We'll just lower the speed to 20.
Now enter the roundabout.
Yeah, it's definitely reacting much faster to reductions in speed. Okay, I didn't give it some pedal. I flashed my blinkers to allow this car to go because the car is being weird. It thinks that it needs to look for visibility, but it's a two-way stop at two different one-way streets. So it really doesn't need to get visibility. It just needs to stop, and then if there's no other traffic, it goes. So it bailed out there. It tried to go to the right. So re-engaging after a disengagement there.
In 500 feet, your destination will be on the right.
Got some beautiful fall colors going on in Chicago. Okay, got rid of that. We don't want to actually turn left. So we're just gonna wait and see if it is able to handle this. Ton of pedestrians trying to cross, and they're slowing, stopping. I hope this woman doesn't even see that I'm going. She didn't even look, so I had to disengage there.
Now turn right onto North Ashland Avenue.
Just so she wouldn't think I was being completely rude. I wanted to like make eye contact with her to let her know I wasn't gonna hit her. The car was just gonna go, which is fine. It could have made the gap, but you know, technically you're supposed to stop for pedestrians if they're in the crosswalk. We were already well on our way through that intersection. Really good, natural feeling, comfortable slowing there for the car that kind of cut us off. Good lane placement. This is feeling great, you guys. Those pseudo roundabouts, it still doesn't know what to do with them. I don't blame them. I think they're weird. I never know if I'm supposed to go right around them or go left around them. They're more like roadblocks to deter people speeding than actual roundabouts, because they also have stop signs. So it's just kind of a weird road feature in general. Really good lane placement. Natural lane switching before the slowdown. Okay, a little harsh braking there. I'm not sure why. I don't know what that was about. I might actually record that one. It seemed unnecessary. If I hadn't been recording, I probably would have pressed the accelerator there just to get it to naturally continue its speed. And it wasn't harsh braking. It was still comfortable braking, but it was braking for no discernible reason. Okay, good, comfortable stop. Confident acceleration after the light turned green.
In 500 feet, turn left onto West Rose Hill Drive.
We have a little fork up here to a red left arrow.
Left onto West Rose Hill Drive.
There's a green light here, and sometimes the car gets confused thinking that it can go at the green light. That was some harsh braking there, rather than like a smooth transition into the left turn lane. So it's seeing the red light up to the top right, which is the green light for the cars to the right of us. And then we have just a turn arrow, which is red right now, that'll turn green. When it does turn green, we want it to stop or continue on past B on to C. So if the light to the right of us turns green first, and they turn green at the same time, but sometimes the light to the right is green and the arrow is red, and I have had on certain versions where the car has tried to run the red arrow. So good lane placement. We should have a little ease out around this truck. We kind of didn't ease out around it, which is fine. But with a truck like that, it's almost like an obstructed view. And so you should either kind of slow down or give it a few feet in case someone was stepping out in front of the truck right as you're going by. Okay, a little hesitant through the intersection there, but not bad. Just not very aggressive acceleration. Granted, the speed limit.
Now turn left.
Okay, I'm stopping here. That's a pretty deep divot. So I braked there just because I didn't want to hit it as hard as it was going at 20 miles an hour. Looks like we've got some community garden work here. Let's see how it does at this wonky intersection. Okay, it's doing not a good job. It was going to sideswipe that car, I feel like. The trajectory was really awkward. So I had to take over. I would say Beta is about 50-50 on that intersection.
Feet, turn right onto West Brynmore Avenue.
A little bit aggressive slowing for the biker. A little bit too far to the left. On 2.2, it was holding lane positioning really well there. So just not anything major. Plenty of car drivers would drive in that same position. Okay, a weird pausing, even though that car was turning right. So far, nothing unsafe, just some awkward driving. less than ideal. Okay. Pretty aggressive acceleration there. It always tries to take this turn too fast and it crosses over into the bike lane. We'll see what it does here. The bike lane's a little faded, but it should be slowing down adequately to make this sharp turn. Okay, this time it seems to be doing it. Nope, but it accelerated into the turn and drove into the bike lane. So again,
in 500
it's
feet,
not the right
your
behavior.
destination will
You
be on
don't
the right.
accelerate into the steepest point of the turn. It boggles the mind that it's doing that, because it takes so many different sharp turns really, really well and really comfortably. So I'm not sure why specifically on
Now
that
your
turn
destination is on
it
the
kind
right.
of struggles. I'm adding some accelerator so that it doesn't stop for C. Also, one change that I think would be helpful with the UI, rather than making everything horizontal, I think the buttons should be tall vertical buttons, so that interacting with it as a human on the touch screen, your finger is going up and down when you're trying to press a button because of, acceleration and slowing. So, when you're trying to press a button, a lot of times when you're missing it, you're hitting above it or below it, not to the left or right of it. You can keep your hand from moving side to side more easily. But I think if instead of these horizontal shaped buttons, if they made all the buttons kind of vertical blocks, I think it would be a better user experience using the touchscreen when you're driving. Tesla, if you're listening, it would take a lot of work to make the UI look pretty, but I think honestly it would be a better experience, like a lot better. Because as you saw me right there I was struggling to hit the edit, and then my finger kept tapping on each side of the X because it's bouncing up and down. But again, visualizations look rock solid. Much sharper than they have been. The colors are a lot deeper colored. Okay, we're going a little slow here. I typically drive, like, if the speed limit's 25 here, say, and it's not actually a school zone speed limit of 20, because it's not a school day. I guess children are present. I don't know. I typically drive 30 down the street, 34 once I get past the school. Okay, comfortable slowing, stop, go. Nice acceleration through there. Okay, a bit of a slowdown for no reason in the
500
intersection.
feet, turn left onto West Lawrence Avenue.
And even
then
there,
turn right.
again, trying to tap it and thumb going above, thumb going below, even when holding on, the acceleration. Verticality
Now turn
of
left onto
buttons
West Lawrence Avenue.
would be really helpful. All right, we should have a green arrow to help get us through this intersection. Okay, it's cutting it off. I'm taking over. It's cutting that. It's always cutting off that intersection too sharply, to the point where it drives into the intersecting lanes left turn lane. Okay, nice easing out instead of swerving. So that's maybe behavior that's changed. I really didn't like the swerving behavior it was doing around bikers. Easing out around them and continuing in a straight fashion is what's expected of both the driver, both the biker and other drivers. I think it's much safer to drive like that. We'll see if we see that mirrored in other biker driver interactions. And then with a motorcycle, of course, it should kind of just treat it more like a car. Okay. It had some bad lane selection, so it popped itself out of FSD. Comfortable following distance, comfortable accelerating, comfortable slowing, good visualizations, good path predictions, good representation of that car. It's definitely, showing cars in 3D space with all the cameras now. You don't seem to get those jittery, weird car placements very much at all. Like when it's passing the car on the monitor, it's usually very smooth. Sometimes it's still a little bit jittery when you have really big trucks, but I think it still knows that a truck is there. It just might not exactly know the specific position relative to the entire truck, which, to be fair, a human doesn't either. You kind of know a truck is there, but you're not sure if you're like 1/3, 2/3, 3/5, 4/5 of the way, behind or in front of the truck bed, or the truck cargo. Sometimes if you can see the front of the truck, you can kind of assume the position. But okay, got some funneling of the lanes there, which was fine. It was a little bit lane searchy, but it did what the lanes told the car to do. Here we're kind of cutting off an area where a biker would drive. The bike lane starts there, and there wasn't a biker, right? But if a biker's coming up behind you, the car should bias to the left to allow space for a potential biker to get by. Otherwise, a bike would have to squeeze by between you and a parked car, or it would have to wait or go around you to the left. So in a city like this where you're sharing the road with bikers or cyclists, you should always kind of bias to the center lane. I'm a cyclist myself, so I try to be really considerate
of
bikers, and I think sometimes the car is actually a little bit rude.
In 500 feet, turn left onto North Broadway.
Okay. We're actually stopping so that we didn't block the intersection, but then we fully stopped in an awkward position, almost like we were letting that car in. So I had to give it accelerator pedal there, because we kind of stopped and then we went and then blocked them, but then stopped for them, and it's not the move. So we should turn left here at an unprotected left. A green light. Okay, the car was a little aggressive there, trying to block that car from butting in front of us, it seemed like.
Now turn left onto North Broadway.
Okay, I'm giving it accelerator pedal here because if you're in the intersection, you should be able to clear the intersection. It's in Illinois law. Otherwise, we'd be waiting for a whole additional light cycle, and the car ends up waiting still instead of moving out into the intersection to clear it. So I think I'll record that one. Might have been a late press to record it, but nice comfortable slowing even with that car kind of pulling out. I think the car recognized that they weren't going to accelerate and they were waiting for us. So that felt very human-like, very natural, that whole stretch. And again, visualizations looking great. Like, really good. I think long-term what I'd like to see it do is, you know, if you're queuing up in the road because of a light like that and there is a crosswalk, the car would stop behind the crosswalk, or if it has enough room to go in front of it, go in front of it. But stopping on the crosswalk is just rude. And same thing with like streets where there's a cross street and the traffic is backing up. Like right here, you wouldn't want to pull and stop in front of that road. You'd want to either, if you have enough room to pull all the way in front where you wouldn't impede turning traffic, great. If you don't have enough room, you want to stop before the street so that someone trying to turn left in the other direction is able to actually turn left. So I think that's something that hopefully the fleet is training, but I think humans are themselves pretty traditionally rude at doing that. There are certain places in Chicago where it even has a sign to tell you not to block traffic.
Now turn right.
Okay. It's never actually done that before. It just fully bailed out of the parking lot.
Now turn right onto West Berwyn Avenue.
There was a car turning right, and the car turning right biased around the bus. And then we got in the leftmost lane thinking we were going to turn around the car turning right where we wanted to turn, and we tried to pass the car. So that wasn't quite right. I recorded that one too because the car just thought it was being smart, but in actuality it did the wrong thing. But it rerouted, got us back on track. So I would say not too much has changed. The visualizations are maybe a little stronger. That's about all I can tell really. But hope you enjoyed this video, and see you in the next one.